many of the players felt very much a season in which she needed to acclimatise to life in the top tier. It is Leipzig that get the action underway. Two sides with ambitions of finishing in the top half of the table this season. Werder Bremen unbeaten through 2 games in their Frauen Bundesliga history, putting their unbeaten start on the line. Against a Leipzig side who have won 6 straight here at Kottaweg. Together, it suggests that this is going to be a game in which goals are guaranteed. When you have prolific strikers on display like we do tonight in Vanessa Fudala, the current top scorer in Germany's top flight, 3 games of the season. And then Larissa Mühlhaus, who has 2 in 2 in what is her debut campaign in Germany's top tier. All comes down to whether their teams can fashion chances for them to add to that those impressive records. Peng, one of the bright young keepers in the Frauen Bundesliga, great with the ball at her feet as well. Distribution there wasn't bad, but picked off by that Leipzig backline, who then give the ball away quite cheaply to Michelle Ulbrich. Ulbrich scoring from the spot. The first goal of the game in that 2-0 win against Turbine Potsdam. Last time out it was Larissa Mühlhaus, then adding a second with a nifty free kick. It was a dominant display from Werder Bremen, but they had to be patient. The goals coming in the 74th and 79th minute. For now, Hofmann's on the run. She's got Marley with the doors in this Friday evening encounter. They had the numbers advantage. They had Bremen stretched. Schimmer looking to tuck that inside the near post, but sends it wrong side. A suggestion that Leipzig might be willing to allow Werder Bremen to have their fair share of possession, knowing that they can snap into gear quickly. Bremen picked up that 2-0 win against Potsdam last time out. It was a 6-2 loss for Leipzig against the reigning champions Bayern München. It is worth noting that they led for 42 minutes in that game, Leipzig, after Vanessa Fudala opened the scoring. She bagged a brace with a second from the spot in the second half. But unfortunately, at that point, the game had already run its course. Bayern were cruising to victory. Nevertheless, plenty of positives for Leipzig, who now have some defending to do. First corner of the game for Werder Bremen. Bounces through dangerously. Rika Diekmann trying to pick up the pieces. Trying to stay on her feet under pressure there from Sandra Starker. Does well. Ricarda Valking. Pocket of space to strike! Elvira Herzog called into action for the first time. And both sides have now gone close to an opener during these opening exchanges. Herzog with fingertips. I think it would have hit the bar anyway. And now another corner for the visitors. That front post is packed out. And it was right on the money from Tuana Mahmoud, but Herzog did well to get a fist on the ball and then rescued by the referee's whistle anyway. Angelika Söder the woman with the whistle this evening. Jonas Stephan there, the new man on the Leipzig hot seat after taking over from Sabun Uzen in the summer. Ahead of this game, talked about the fact that his side's focus was on what promotes performance, that they weren't dealing with things in the past, whether that be the 2 defeats to Werder Bremen last season or that 6-2 defeat to Bayern last time out. Instead, focus on what promotes performance. He'll have found the positives from that game against Bayern. Oh, now it's worked well by Leipzig. Marlene Schimmer has the freedom of Kotterweg. 1-1 with Livia Peng, round the keeper for the opening goal. Leipzig lead as they go in search of a 7th straight home win. Marlene Schimmer missed the earlier chance, but makes no mistake. Lovely little touch from Giovanna Hoffmann on its way through. From there, it was all on Schimmer's shoulders, but she accepted the responsibility. And Leipzig with the early lead here on home soil. First ever goal in Leipzig colours for Marlene Schimmer, a summer signing from Köln. Delight for Schimmer, delight for Leipzig. An unbeaten Werder Bremen are not on the back foot because the goal doesn't count. It has been chalked off for offside. Well, I'll be honest, Jonas Stephan asking questions there of the 4th official, Monique Panetta, and I can understand, because we don't have the use of video assistant refereeing technology in the Frauen Bundesliga. So I'll be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little perplexed as to how that goal has been chalked off. Unless there was a discussion between Angelika Söder, the referee, and I believe it's Alessa Plas, who is the assistant referee on that far side. And unless there was a discussion where Plas said, I'm very confident it was off, I just didn't want to raise my flag, then questions will be asked. Right now, though, Lydia Andrade! Now Leipzig will take the lead! Twice Livia Peng has been left stranded, and having had a goal chalked off, Leipzig now have broken the deadlock. They are scything through this Bremen back line. And Lydia Andrade now opening her account for the new season. Again, there's a little touch, I believe it's from Giovanna Hoffmann. And Andrade accepts the opportunity. Peng overcommitted when she didn't necessarily have to. And in the end, left to look a little red-faced. 2 goals in quick succession for Leipzig, but it is Lydia Andrade's that stands. What a bizarre couple of minutes here in the Frauen Bundesliga. It's a league that gives you a little bit of everything. Well played by Larissa Mühlhaus, applying the press. Unfortunately, rushed the pass a little too early for Mahmoud, who has pace in her locker, but not quite enough there to get on the end of that pass. Everything really playing into Leipzig's hands, with the exception of Ricarda Valking hitting the bar. Here is our goal scorer, Andrade, finding Marlene Schimmer. Loose touch allows Ulbrich to step out and step in. Thomas Horsch there, the Bremen head coach, said he was expecting a difficult away game. The Leipzig certainly are on par with Werder Bremen, and that they are always a tough team to play. 10 minutes played. Point proven, I think, by the opening exchanges. Sandra Starker picking up the ball again in midfield. You can see Bremen not overly ambitious with the press, but it's broken well by a lovely pass to find Starker again. Now on to Fudala. This is where Leipzig can combine so well. Fudala. Contested there by Diekman, and Rika Diekman in the end turning the ball over for Werder. Valking just muscled off the ball there by Marlene Schimmer. There's certainly an element that Schimmer brings to this Leipzig side, very much in the mould of Mimi Larsen, who impressed in the second half of last season for the newly promoted outfit. They weren't able to retain Larsen's services as she moved back to Sweden. That Marlene Schimmer cut from a similar cloth, maybe not as prolific as the Swedish veteran. Her first ever goal for Leipzig is now Werder Bremen looking for a response to falling behind. Free kick given away off the hosts as a move breaks down for Bremen. Tonight also the first time that Bremen have found themselves behind on a Frauen Bundesliga score sheet this season. Schimmer waited on the ball, Ulbrich pounced. Mahmoud's on the move. Who did the final touch come off of? Well, it won't make any difference because Elvira Herzog on hand to keep the ball in play. Valking on the chase. Herzog hesitated, but they've worked it in the end. The angles there, Leipzig. Kept in play by Victoria Krug. Goes long looking for Schimmer, but pass was wayward, picked up by Luan Choli. Vanessa Fudala. Lovely pass to find Marlene Muller. Lovely turn as well from Marlene Muller. Hofmann looking for a teammate, looking for Fudala. Well, you can understand why, given the way she started this season. Scrappy midfield, but it's Jolie who comes away with it. She really has added something to this Leipzig midfield. Luan Jolie, signed from Stade de Rennes after 13 years with the French club. Only 22 years old, so do the maths. Joined them at the age of 9. Said she was excited by the new league and the new challenge. Excited to join a young and ambitious club, and very much an energy bundle in midfield, providing terrier-like qualities. Passing profile could be improved, but that can be forgiven for the amount of time she wins the ball back. Hofmann, not found by Stark. Azim steps in. The Kotteweg roof, it goes momentarily. Well, he said his side weren't living in the past, Thomas Horsch. Go back to last season. And it was here in Leipzig that Werder Bremen picked up a 5-0 win, with Sophie Weidauer scoring a hat-trick. Sylvia Matthijs, Nina Lursen, who was left to join Frankfurt in the summer, got the other goals. He said even with a comfortable win, we know that Leipzig are still dangerous. Angelika Söder not happy here with the interaction between Sophie Weidauer and Julia Landenberger. Yellow card to both. I think Werder Bremen were looking to take the free kick quickly. I mean, it was an absolute clattering between Schimmer and Valking. Got to be pleased with what he's seen from his side so far, Jonas Stephan. Talked about the fact that Werder Bremen were a prime example of the longer you keep a core of a team together, the more automatisms take effect. It's a wonderful German word of which there is really no English equivalent. It's all about that instinctual play, knowing where players are, being able to pass blind with the confidence that a teammate will be in the right position. That pass a prime example of it as Sophie Weidauer drops deep to affect play. But good pressure from Leipzig forces Bremen back to Livia Peng. The point that Jonas Stephan also made about Werder Bremen is they are one of those teams that don't do anything spectacular, but what they do, they do well. Which is certainly a very succinct way of describing Thomas Horsch's side. Well played by Lara Schmidt there. Sent off in that 3-3 draw against Wolfsburg for 2 bookable offences. The first, a late challenge, resulting in a yellow card. The second was for kicking the ball away petulantly, having been penalised for another foul. It was a silly way to get sent off in her Werder Bremen debut, but now back from that 1-game ban. Served in the 2-0 win against Turbine Potsdam. Leaves her mark there on Marlene Schimmer, who has left her mark on a fair few Werder Bremen players tonight already. Well won back by Luan Jolie. Same could be said for Ricarda Valking. There you see those terror-like qualities of Luan Jolie winning the ball back for Leipzig. And now they find themselves in a very promising position. Marlene Müller. A little step over took her wide. In the end, nothing to show for her efforts there, Marlene Müller. She wanted to be a goalkeeper when she was growing up. Now operating predominantly on the left wing for Leipzig, one of their longest serving players with 104 appearances, including tonight, to her name. Just over 20 minutes played. Leipzig certainly good value for their 1-0 lead. One goal chalked off for offside, another goal that looked like it might be offside, not chalked off. But right now they're keeping Bremen at arm's length. We've seen very little of Larissa Mühlhaus and Sophie Weidauer, who is having to drop very deep to come and collect the ball. Mahmoud tumbles to ground, but play goes on with Diekman. Back to Mahmoud now. Tricky customer to Anna Mahmoud. And Mühlhaus with the header. Bit of a wrestling match there with Victoria Klug taking place at the back post. But that will go down as Mühlhaus's first sight of goal this evening. It's not really a wrestling match, it was more a little hug there she was getting from Victoria Klug. But that is the level of threat that Larissa Mühlhaus possesses, the reputation she now commands as well, given the start she has made to the season. Everyone knew she could score goals. 2 seasons ago, 23 and 29 in all competitions for Hamburg. Last season, it was 20 and 26 in the second tier of German women. And already 4 in 3 appearances before tonight. Moments have come from set pieces. Now a free kick. Oh, flicked on nicely. Back post, there's no one really there. Weidauer could not keep it in play. That is another string that Mühlhaus adds to the Bremen bow as well. Sophie Weidauer, a very capable goal scorer. But you would say that Bremen lacked threat in aerial situations, whether it be crosses, corners, set pieces, and Mühlhaus certainly now adds that aerial ability to a front line that broke a club record last season for Werder Bremen. They scored 34 goals in the Frauen Bundesliga. The best ever single season output from the northern side. The fact that they had only scored 25 goals combined in the previous 2 seasons, it really does put into context why 34 was so impressive. Talking of impressive goal scoring records, Vanessa Fudala fashioned a chance. In the end, there was just enough pressure on her to throw her off balance. That left foot of hers, one of the most feared weapons in Germany's top flight. Lara Schmidt was almost grasping at thin air. Maybe a tug or two that did just enough to throw Fudala off her game. It was a fantastic goal from range that bamboozled Maria Luisa Gross, the Bayern München goalkeeper, that opened the scoring last Friday for Leipzig in Munich. And again, it was that goal that stood as the lead for Leipzig for 42 minutes of that game. And the only reason I point that out is because last season, Bayern were only behind on the score sheet for less than half an hour, all told over the course of 22 matches. But Leipzig led for 42 minutes on match day 2. So that is something that the side now in their second season in the Frauen Bundesliga certainly weren't turn their noses up at. No hint of Werder Bremen taking this free kick quickly as they wait for all of the aerial threats to come up from the back. Hannah Nemitz, Michelle Michaela Brandenburg, Michelle Ulbrich, Lara Schmidt. Mahmoud into the mix. Saw it the whole way. Commanding her area there, the Swiss international goalkeeper. Milestone moment for her as she makes her 50th appearance in all competitions for Leipzig, having joined from Köln back in 2022 before the promotion-winning season. Play. Jolie. Really is impressive how you can point to the impact made by Leipzig's summer signing. On display here in the starting lineup today in Giovanna Hofmann, Marlene Schimmer and Luan Jolie. Hofmann and Schimmer really are providing something to the front line that is getting the best out of Vanessa Fudala. Luan Jolie, a key asset in midfield in terms of her ability to put in the hard yards and win the ball back quickly for Leipzig. You can count Julia Landenberger as a summer signing as well, given the fact that her loan move from Bayern München was made permanent. But it's Vanessa Fudala who continues to grab all the headlines with her goal-scoring form. 62 in 87 appearances in all competitions for Leipzig. Here she is spreading the play again, though, just putting the pass behind Müller. And that is the thing about Vanessa Fudala, don't get me wrong, her goal-scoring feats are impressive, but there's a lot more to her game than just goals. Olivia Peng, as you can see, prowls outside her area because she does like to get involved as an extra option in the build-up. Fudala couldn't quite squeeze it through in tight spaces there. Krug. She had Simon strings there with the dummy, but unfortunately now it's all gotten a bit static. Dig out the cross or maybe even a corner, but she's going to get nothing for her efforts in the end. Turned over cheaply by Werder Bremen. Sandra Starker trying to make something of it. Diekman committing to ground a little too early. Bremen have reshaped and reset, forcing Leipzig to do the same at the back. Julia Margel. Nice ball into feet for Fudala, who gets tripped by Ricarda Valking. Fudala. Finding Marlene Müller. Lovely shape on the cross, but no one there to attack it all the way through to Olivia Peng. Just under half an hour played. We're hearing that Werder Bremen are getting a change ready as well. Juliana Wirtz set to enter the fray, suggesting that Thomas Horsch has seen something early doors he's not happy with. might be the fact that Werder Bremen really aren't establishing themselves in midfield. And they've lost out again there. Hoffmann wanted the ball from Marlene Schimmer. Arrives a little too late, back to goal now. Needed to come earlier, the pass. Final touch there off Mahmoud. To throw into Leipzig, which should give us a chance for Bremen to make that change. Can you hear Wechsel, Wechsel, Wechsel? Yeah, there we go. Substitution is taking place. And it's going to be Hannah Nemeth that's coming off. It's Juliana Wirtz coming on. I would imagine that will ultimately see Lara Schmidt join the three-woman back line. And now maybe Juliana Wirtz will join the midfield battle alongside Rika Diekman and Ricarda Valking. We'll keep an eye on just how Bremen are going to line up now, but Horsch reacting to the fact that his side have fallen behind early. But ultimately, at 1-0, all is not lost in this game, even if his side are struggling to carve out goal-scoring opportunities. You can see Lara Schmidt has certainly dropped into that centre-back role. Switch of system as well from Thomas Horsch. Just trying to work it out because I think he's gone to a four-woman back line. Michaela Brandenburger's switch now to right back. It's Lara Schmidt and Michelle Ulbrich as the centre backs, Carolina Ziems as the left back. Not easy to tell where all the dominoes have fallen though. As we see Valking caught by Joly. Not one to pull out of the challenge, the young Frenchwoman. Just 2 shots on goal so far for Werder Bremen. Larissa Mühlhaus did score from a free kick last weekend in the 2-0 win against Turbine Potsdam. I'm not sure she'll necessarily be going for goal here, but get it on target. All it needs is a touch! And that was exactly how it played out, but the touch was not applied. Elvira Herzog, grateful to see that one land in her gloves, I'm sure. This really is. It's half shot, half cross. Put it in the mix. It might bounce awkwardly through all the way into the back of the net. Herzog was alert to that danger, though. We see in terms of possession, evenly matched, but challenges won. An area where Leipzig really are asserting themselves because they're winning the ball well in midfield, they're applying the high press, they're providing interceptions that are turning the ball over quickly as, oh dear, Mahmoud. Oh, a little dangerous there on Lannenberger, but that is completely not warranted from Marlene Schimmer. It's the referee's job to protect the players. And that was a bit over the top from Marlene Schimmer. I think Mahmoud is well aware that that was a bit of a risky challenge, and Lannenberger has certainly come off second best, but the ball bounced up. And I think, looking at that, I think looks worse than it really is. Lannenberger put her body between the ball and woman. To be honest, I don't think Mahmoud hard, but Schimmer certainly does. I think that was a 50-50 that was a fair challenge in the end. It looked bad because of the impact, I think. And okay, this is we're clearing up the first goal of the game that was ruled out by the referee. And if you saw there, Marlene Schimmer was inside her own half when Giovanna Hoffmann got the touch. To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it is one of those situations in the Frauen Bundesliga where we're ultimately going to have to wait until after the final whistle to get it cleared up. Because I can't theorise as to how the goal was allowed to be scored and then got chalked off a good 30 seconds afterwards, after a discussion on the sidelines. Especially when, as we just saw, Schimmer was inside her own half when the touch came from Giovanna Hoffmann. It might also be one of those situations that we never do fully get cleared up, unfortunately. The good news for Leipzig is they scored quickly after that through Lydia Andrade, and as a result, lead. But in a season already in the Frauen Bundesliga, just 3 match days so far, we have already had our fair share of very contentious decisions. Werder Bremen have been involved in a couple now, if you include tonight, given the fact that it was Alex Pop's equaliser, match day 1 in a 3-3 draw, that should not have stood because the ball never crossed the line. But we don't have goal line technology either in Germany's top flight. Despite seeing the ball bounce on a line and spin away from the back of the net, ultimately was penalised for conceding a 3rd goal. And of course, if you haven't heard the news of the fact that Freiburg's 3-2 loss to Leverkusen from match day 1 is going to get replayed for a break of the rules, then it's worth reading into, because that is certainly something that is going to be a reality in the Frauen Bundesliga. For now, let's focus on this corner for Werder Bremen. Could there be a goal, an equaliser left in this first half? Tuana Mahmoud not making any friends here in Leipzig, it's fair to say. Flicked on at the near post. And the final touch off of Mühlhaus. You can see Landenberger really was absolutely firmly planted on her foot there, Larissa Mühlhaus, so I can understand why she was maybe looking at the referee going, how was that not spotted? There's a lot that goes on in a melee from a corner. Here's our goal scorer Andrade trying to feed the run of Victoria Krug successfully. Like Mühlhaus, that goal right now team's under a whole heap of pressure, and free kick given. He doesn't look particularly happy. A man that constantly strives for perfection. Leipzig going in search of a 7th straight home win, looking to end Bremen's unbeaten start to the season. Werder Bremen now in their 9th campaign in the Frauen Bundesliga, their 6th seen as a top half of the table finish, something they weren't far removed from in the previous campaign. 7th place finish, their best ever in just return. Literally, they smashed pretty much every club record they could last season in a positive sense, Werder Bremen. Certainly not on the very evenly matched encounter that has ultimately evolved, really, because Leipzig had the result, keeping Leipzig a little quieter as Andrade stopped in the tracks by the side. Alessa Plaza maybe Alessa Plaza asked the referee Angelika Zerda whether there was a touch from Hofmann or whether the touch maybe came from a the touch already was decisive. So many different things are happening at once. Situation to judge, and I constantly maintain chance of Einauer, and that gets the visiting fans piece of skill from Tuana Mahmoud. Missed the first game of the season against Wolfsburg, Sophie Weidauer, through injury. Seems then bundled in. Well, you don't need me to tell you what a reaction. Got a little bit of a lot of height on the delivery. Pieces picked up by Erika Diekman. Racking up the fouls, but another talking to the referee, perhaps to say that is last chance saloon now when it comes to a yellow card. Leipzig haven't had a shot since the 24th. And it springs clear off the bar. Melee on the goal line. And the foul goes against Larissa Mühlhaus. And this time it was Brandenburg. But now... It's a penalty. Lannenberger doesn't play for the ball at all. It's blatant obstruction. I mean, in terms of the spectrum of penalties that could be given, that wasn't. Is really genuinely beyond me. But Bremen, I tell you right now, the pressure is on, and they will not want the half. Chance for them to carve out. Big appeal for a handball there from Sandra Starker. Cross comes in, but no threat for Elvira Herzog. And it is Leipzig that currently separates the sides under the Friday night floodlights. It is Leipzig 1, Werder Bremen 0.
Liebe Fans, wir wollen die Halbzeit auch noch kurz für einen Servicehinweis nutzen. Und zwar, wenn ihr nicht genug trinken könnt von unserem Fußball, da kommt Schluss ist um 13 Uhr. Also, morgen im Stadion am Bad Marktanstalt. Unsere Musikszene gegen den VfL Wolfsburg in der B-Junioren-Bundesliga. Anstoß 13 Uhr.
Hello and welcome. Leipzig leading by a goal to nil, but the woman in the spotlight in the first half was not the players, none of the players, but that woman, Angelika Zerder, our referee tonight. But where it all counts is on the score sheet, and Lydia Andrade with the only goal of the game. Came from the home side, but it was Werder Bremen and Thomas Horst's side that got stronger as the first half went on. Arguably could have during the break. So too Jonas Steffen there, his counterpart, who I'm sure will not be pleased with the fact that Leipzig have gone 3, with two teams boasting top half of the table ambitions. This may be an early indication of whose hopes have more to get 7 straight tonight, and right now on course to do so. The onus is on Bremen to fight back, to bounce back, and they did that towards the end of the fair to say, great atmosphere here at Kottaveg on this Friday night. Juliana Wirtz, first half substitute for Werder Bremen. Thomas Horsch did tweak things tactically, a switch from a 3-woman to a 4-woman back line. Ahead of her. Oh, lovely turn there from Rika Diekman, and just couldn't take the ball with her. Valking. Sophie Weidauer, top scorer last season for sides last season. Werder Bremen won the opening fixture 5-0 here at Kottaveg, but it was a 1-1 draw at Platz 11. And this one in terms of how it is poised right now. Can Werder Bremen find the equaliser? That's the question. Seems. This is dangerous. Mahmoud into the... Weidauer unable to turn Landenberger. Cheaply again by Werder Bremen, so it's takes it down on her chest. Giovanna Hofmann drifting wide, but finding the top corner. First goal. She's been doing a lot of the hard work without any rewards, but now she gets her moment. And she is a devout Christian, which is why We get the point. Goal all of last season in 20 appearances, many of which did come from the bench, admittedly. Marlene carefully picked the pocket. We are now going to get a change for Werder Bremen. Thomas It's not been his side's evening, though. Their most promising moments have produced. And should now get the corner. Oh, attacked well. In Cup and League. The 6-2 loss to Bayern. No real surprise. Fine, but doing it over 90 minutes is never easy. Pottervig last season. On course to make it 7 in a row. Right now. Score goals. Yes, they've hit the bar twice. think it's fair to say Bremen haven't exactly tapped into the peak of their powers going forward. That's a lovely delivery, and Weidauer probably had more time and space than she anticipated, and actually had the time and space to try and take that down in the need a change. A key part of the progress that Leipzig show, as talented as Vanessa Fudala is, as rich to Lydia Andrade, need to chip in. Right now Andrade trying to turn provider. Fudala. Teasing delivery finds no one in Burgundy. Victoria Krug. Given for the challenge by Carolina Siems. Mühlhaus then can't hold off the challenge. It's all getting a bit heated. With the exception of maybe the 5 to 10 minutes before half-time, where they allowed Bremen to build into the ascendancy, they were fortunate not because they've come out commanding in this second half, the home side. They're not giving Bremen any touches of the ball in dangerous areas. To break those lines, yes. The women in white and green. under much threat here, I think it's fair to say. Even for a Werder Bremen side that have been in great form at the start of the season, that do have even more attacking threat than they had in the previous campaign when they and that ultimately is also a test of a side that have had changes made in the summer. There's still a pretty lengthy injury list that Werder Bremen are coping with as well, and even someone like Sophie Weidauer, I think it's fair to say she's back on the bigger and better teams have come here to Kottavik and lost, so there's no shame in defeat here for Thomas Horsch's side. He said he expected a difficult away game. It's exactly what has transpired. Maybe if they can get a goal back in the next 10 minutes. Jolie snapping at the so often does, those protests falling on deaf ears. Lovely challenge from Matthias, well timed. Can tell you as well, we did try post-match to work out exactly what transpired. Marlene Schimmert denied her first goal of her Leipzig career. And Mahmoud has space to work. She's got Mühlhaus and Weidauer in the middle. More arriving now, and a cross blocked behind for a corner by Marlene Müller, who was giving her Bremen to build and build and build. Wasteful from the youngster. Scored the opening goal of Werder Bremen season in that 3-3 draw against Wolfsburg. They've had though, all the corners, all the free kicks in both promising and not so promising. Now Vera Herzog was a big talking point coming into this game. She's acquitted herself well, but Bremen haven't tested her enough, and that won't change there. Goals will not come your way. tonight is starting to feel like one of those nights. But if Leipzig keep playing their way out from the back like that, then maybe we shouldn't jump to any conclusions. Tuana Mahmoud, one-on-one with Marlene Müller once again. The better from Mahmoud. Unfortunately for Werder Bremen, the same result. Delivery, and Julia Margl was taking no chances and has had her bell rung by the pace on the cross. The sun has set, so it is possible, but see there, Jenny Hip ready to come on for Jonas Steffen's side. Card. Cautionary measures could be taken by Leipzig, 2-0 up right now. Very promising Leipzig French woman. Today, the big noticeable fact was that she didn't misplace as many of her passes as she has in the first 2 games of the season, so big improvements made there. Just over 1,000 fans in attendance here at Kottaweg for this curtain raiser, Matchday 3 in the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. Six points from their opening 3 games is nothing to turn their noses up at, especially when you consider that last season they only picked up a single win in the first half of the campaign. And that sole win came Matchday 2 against SGS Essen. Leipzig, and you've played 3 games in the season, you've won 2 of them, and the only game you've lost is against Bayern München. Got to be quite happy with that return. Carolina Ziems winning out, and it's worked now to Larissa Mühlhaus. Goes for the early. Stands. Best chance of the second half for Bremen by a country mile. This was brilliant play by the new front 2. Mühlhaus with the early ball. Vidal. Was equal to it. And maybe, just maybe, Elvira Herzog given all the flack she's taken over the last couple of months for some individual errors, some costly moments for Leipzig. Maybe, just maybe, in her fifth. In the Frauen Bundesliga last season. Tonight she might just get off the mark. Jonas Steffen, her head coach, did give her the backing as well. Said that she has already proven this season as well how important she is. Same could be said of this Leipzig side. Just appreciate that first touch again from Weidauer. Oh, the skill that takes to keep. Mood brushes off the challenge of Müller and then sees another cross block behind for a corner. Won't stop trying, won't stop running, won't stop chipping away to Anna Mahmoud. Is the experienced player on the Women books with over 250 appearances to her name. She will be a target for this corner as well, but it's Mühlhaus. Have been wasteful with the chances they have had. It was actually Lara Schmidt, excuse me, with that header. And on course for a 7th win in a row here on home soil. It's not going to abate now as Giovanna Hofmann into the box, looking for a teammate, and cut out by Bremen at the back as Diekmann now with a sense of urgency trying to drive the ball forward. Foul of the game and her first challenge of the game after coming off the bench, but so cynical it was that a yellow card was warranted. And you can see there absolutely no complaints from the Leipzig midfielder whatsoever as well. She knew exactly what she was doing. Marlene Müller, what a lovely mazy run from her. Here she is on the ball again, Marlene Müller. Closed down quickly by Juliana Wirtz, but does well in tight spaces, so too does Marlene Schimmer. What a turn that was. Gathers at a near post. That really would be the icing on the cake. Marlene Schimmer to score her first goal as a Leipzig player, having already had one incorrectly chalked off for offside. Put a foot wrong tonight. It's funny how that can happen when questions were asked of her in the build-up to this game. But if the pre-match narrative was all about Leipzig's more changes for Werder Bremen.
zu wünschen.
Scored a hat-trick here last season in a 5-0 win for Werder Bremen, Sophie Weidauer. Tonight's game has played out very differently. Scored to make it 2-1. We might have been talking about Bremen really pushing for an equaliser now. Instead, Herzog was equal to the effort. Bremen still need 2 goals for a miracle. Mahmoud. Though, they'll know that if they can get a goal back, it would make things interesting, and all they need to do is strike a little bit of fear into the hearts of these Leipzig players, and there might still be something. Of course, the draw for the second round of the DFB-Pokal der Frauen took place during Fortuna Köln of the third tier. A look at the match statistics. And evenly matched in so many departments, but Leipzig have found the clinical touch. Haven't had that many clear-cut golden opportunities. Clinical touches will ultimately decide matches, as we've now got another heavy. There's another clattering together. Does just underline the fact that neither side really have taken any prisoners tonight. Have the ambition of finishing in the top half of the table. Been their process of establishing themselves in the top. But after their record-breaking season last time out, they would like to build on that and continue the upward trajectory. And ultimately have foundations so that they could start competing higher up the standings. And it's only on account of their Rückrunde form, the second half of the season form, where they were the 4th best team in Germany's top flight, behind Bayern, behind Wolfsburg, behind Frankfurt. I think that they could maybe push on into the top half of the table in only their second season. Fudala finding Hoffmann. Shot blocked. So too the clearance. Seems we'll try again. Gets no support. The angle that she needed it. Hoffmann. Tell you what, if she can add goals to her locker, Hoffmann, in this new lone striker role, then she really could be a bit of a hidden gem, unlocked and found by this Leipzig side. She wasn't getting the chances with Freiburg, but she is here as Andrade there. All a little bit improvised. In the end, offside against Leipzig. As we have now breached into the final 10 minutes of normal time here at Kottaweg. Leipzig, 2 goals to the good thanks to Lydia Andrade and Giovanna Hoffmann. on course to make it 7 wins straight here on home soil. See there, Nina Reke and Michaela Croato ready to come on for Leipzig. Marlene Müller, one of those making way, probably for Croato. Like-for-like change on the is coming off. It is Giovanna Hoffmann also making way. Scorer of the second tonight for Leipzig. Her first goal for her new club. And it has them on course for victory. I have to say, a magnificently taken goal as well. From the top quality from Giovanna Hoffmann. And a perfect way to introduce herself to the Leipzig fans. Now, not like-for-like changes as well, because Reke and Croato are both defenders. I would imagine it means that Schimmer's gone up front, Andrade's probably pushed a little bit further forward, and Reke will feature on the right wing now. This is the variability and variety that Jonas Stefan can provide with the squad. One of the big things he's talked about, he's so far based on results, based on performance levels, with the one exception being that loss to Union Berlin in the second round of the DFB Pokal, a really terrible loss where Leipzig just looked so tame, couldn't get anything going in the final third, lacked threat, didn't get Fudala in dangerous positions. But that is the only blemish really on the season so far, because you definitely can't count the 6-2 defeat to Bayern in that regard. But he's talked, Stefan, about wanting, and hold the thought, because Mühlhaus with a chance here. Tight angle, cut back. Hip gets there first ahead of Mahmoud, and had to. Bremen are pushing right now for a goal to reduce the arrears. A lifeline is what they're looking for. Foul goes against Tuana Mahmoud. Oh, just. Schimmer just got a leg in front of that of Mahmoud to win the free kick, but well played by Marlene Schimmer there, you have to say. Got to move the ball quickly, Bremen, and they do to Tuana Mahmoud, who's switched flanks now. And again, oh, that's... I mean, that is beyond cynical from Julia Margl. The amount of times that Tuana Mahmoud has beaten these Leipzig defenders all ends up, and they have had no way to deal with her threat. That is what they're having to resort to now, but that is... simply because of how cynical it was, that is the deepest of yellow cards in terms of the shade of yellow. The one thing that worked for Margl is it was not a denial of a clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity for Tuana Mahmoud. And I guess a yellow card in the grand scheme of things is probably an acceptable result there for Margl. A chance on the free kick here for Werder Bremen, though. And a goal now would give them a lifeline. It would make things interesting. It's a shot on goal more than a cross. Herzog, really, you got to think, for me, 2 key saves made in this game. One in the first half, when Larissa Mühlhaus's free kick was put towards the back post. It may have just needed a touch on its way through, didn't get it, but those are the types of opportunities that can sometimes slip through even past a goalkeeper. When Mühlhaus played a lovely ball over the back line, taken into stride by Sophie Weidau with a magnificent first touch. But Herzog was equal to the effort from Bremen's top goal scorer last season, who is still waiting to open her account in the current campaign. fouls here from Leipzig, but Bremen just not doing anything with the set-piece opportunities. All it takes is one, though, to make the difference. Saskia Matthijs looking for a teammate in green and white. And finds one as well. Mulhouse under the ball. As a result, header well off target. Not going to make it 3 games with 3 goals in the Frauen Bundesliga, but you can still see why Larissa Mulhouse is certainly very well equipped to assert herself at the highest level. It's a big thing to make a step up as a 21-year-old, being the top goal scorer in the second tier, then asserting yourself in the top tier. Vanessa Fudala, she took a while to acclimatise, but you can see where she's at now and the reputation, her talents have earned her, and Larissa Mulhouse is on a similar trajectory, similar path. 4 goals in 4 games, even if she has drawn a blank tonight. That is not a bad record for a summer signing. 2 in the cup, 2 in the league. And if she hits double digits, then that'll be a magnificent return in her debut campaign. Leipzig very much trying to manage this game to a successful conclusion. Would love to keep a clean sheet now, I have no doubt about that. The amount of saves that Herzog has made. Look at the next 5 games for Leipzig. Potsdam away from home in a double header on the road that then takes them to Wolfsburg as well. But as Werder Bremen proved, Wolfsburg are vulnerable. Valking. Snapshots. Excuse me, Papai with a snapshot over. Leipzig have got 2 more changes ready, just to take a few more precious seconds off the clock. Take a look at Bremen's next couple of games and, well, certainly don't get any easier. I mean, those next 4 games, considering the fact that they've already played Wolfsburg on Matchday 1, then 4 games in a row against Bayern, Hoffenheim, Leverkusen and Frankfurt. You got to think 3 points would be a pretty successful return for Werder Bremen. Mix that they will really want to beat, because those are the types of teams they need to beat if they want to climb into the top half of the table. But Hoffenheim and Frankfurt have already dropped points this season. Matthijs. It's another dangerous delivery. Find a Bremen player. Poor old Thomas Horsch, the Bremen head coach, has had a torrid time on the sidelines. The amount of time that's been taken off the clock by Leipzig since they took a 2-0 lead really does have the feeling of a game in which virtually nothing has gone his side's way. We see a yellow card flash to Michele Croato, the young Austrian. But yeah, whether it be challenges won, whether it be goal-scoring efforts that have come off the bar, whether it be golden opportunities that are saved by Elvira Herzog, Werder Bremen have had none of the rub of the green here at Kottaweg. And that's not to say that Leipzig have had a lot of it, because there have been moments where they've gone against them as well, but they made 2 moments count. 5 minutes of time added on at the end of the 90. Seems a bit excessive, to be honest, but Angelika Söder now making sure that all is fair in love and war in the melee of the corner kick. Free kick on this occasion for Saskia Matthijs again. Still, Werder Bremen, it is the same result over and over again. In terms of the amount of corners and free kicks they've had, I think we're probably pushing close to 20, if not over, combined. And yet, maybe one of those produced a bit of threat at the end of it when Ricardo Valking, with Bremen's first shot of the game, hit the fingertips of Elvira Herzog and the bar. And now Andrade, scorer of the first, turning on the afterburners. Look at her go past Ulbrich, but Ulbrich does well to stay touch tight. Close enough to make a challenge in the end, the Werder Bremen captain. Be Lydia Andrade's final action of the game, as she is set to come off along with Marlene Schimmer. First goal of the season, and a key one as well. Won't talk about whether it was offside or not. In the end, what matters is that Andrade took the ball really well. Livia Peng overcommitted. And certainly something that Peng has a propensity for doing. Playing high off her line. Got caught out a couple of times last season. Caught out now tonight by Andrade, who did well to take the ball round the Bremen keeper. Then had the goal at her mercy. That was the goal that separated the sides at half-time. It was then added to shortly after the restart by Giovanna Hoffmann. Yellow card for Jonas Stefan. Not sure what he did to deserve the booking. It doesn't look like he's been shouting or remonstrating on the sidelines, does he? He looks like a very cool, calm, collected figure. He doesn't also look like a head coach that's got his side 2-0 up right now. Could crack a smile as Sandra Starker flashes an effort across the face of goal. It's always going to struggle to find the target from that type of angle. Lovely take there by Croato. Cut out though by Ulbrich. I guess really the question is who's going to come to Kotterweg and break this winning run the Leipzig are currently on, because to come here, the newly promoted side who to the Frauen Bundesliga after that, a home game against Hoffenheim. Followed by a home tie against Leverkusen before Bayern come to visit on Matchday 13, which is on the 1st. We're at the beginning of February. Of course, those games have not been set in stone yet in terms of kickoff times, but last season they did beat Hoffenheim 3-0 here at Kotterweg. They beat Leverkusen 1-0 here at Kotterweg, so they might, if they can recreate those results, hit double digits in terms of this winning streak at Kotterweg, which would be incredibly impressive. Right now, Mühlhaus looking for an act of defiance, but Seams sends it over. It seemed harder to miss the target from where she was than hit it, but miss it she did. Carolina Seams, summer signing from Bayer Leverkusen, slotted straight into that left-back role that seems to be all hers. But yeah, she's got to hit the target there, Carolina Seams, and she knows it. But that really has been the story of this game for Werder Bremen. Promising moments with no end products. And Leipzig not pushed to their limits. But their winning streak on home soil continues. Mahmoud, still full of trickery. One last chance for Bremen. Mühlhaus. Tail of the table. Werder Bremen's unbeaten start to the season comes to an end as Leipzig make it 7 wins straight here at Kottaweg. Lydia Andrade, Giovanna Hoffmann with the goals. It wasn't as easy going as the scoreline suggests, but it is Leipzig under the Friday night floodlights. Well, certainly not a bad way to raise the curtain on Matchday 3 in the Kugel Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. The first half was frantic and a little bit frazzled at times based on some of the refereeing decisions, given the way the game was managed by both teams. It was evenly matched and hard fought, but a second half from Leipzig put them in a commanding position here on home soil, where they had won 6 straight before tonight and now stretched their winning streak to 7. 6 points from a possible 9 to start the season, with the only loss coming against the reigning title holders, the 2-time defending Jonas Steffen, making a very positive start to life on the Leipzig Bundesliga. Result will certainly help deal with the blemish and the blame that still maybe lingers from the defeat to Union Berlin in the DFB Pokal second round. Because ultimately the Frauen Bundesliga is the bread and butter. It is here that Leipzig want to establish themselves in the top half of the table, and well, based on their start to the campaign, the signs are promising. For Thomas Horsch, you can still see the progress that his side have made in the last just over 12 months. And yes, they couldn't build on the 3-3 draw against Wolfsburg and the 2-0 win against Turbine Potsdam tonight, because really this was a return to bad old habits for Werder Bremen in terms of a lack of a clinical touch in front of goal. They had more chances, they applied more pressure over the course of the 90 minutes than Leipzig did, but in the end they couldn't find the finishing touches, whether it be Larissa Mühlhaus, whether it be Sophie Weidauer, whether it was Ricarda Valking, Tuana Mahmoud, Caroline Ziems at the end as well. The chances were there for Werder Bremen. Tonight, though, they didn't take them. Leipzig did, and as a result, Leipzig good value for the 3 points as they stretch their winning streak here on home soil at the expense of Werder Bremen. Thomas Horsch, I'm still sure, will have a few positives to point to, but this was a very different game to the 5-0 win that his side secured here at Kottaweg last season. But that really is a testament maybe to the progress that Leipzig have made since then, and the progress they are making already in a short space of time under their new head coach. Jonas growing sustainably, continuously improving. Said one of their aims this season is to pick up more points than they did in the previous campaign, but he also wants to play different football in the future, especially with the ball. His aim is to keep the RB DNA, as he described it, of intensity and aggression, but he wants to be brutally nauseating. I don't think they were quite brutally nauseating tonight, but Werder Bremen will leave with a feeling of the pit in their stomach, knowing that they had chances here to affect play. And this is the opening goal of the game that was chalked out. Marlene Schimmer surrounding Livia Peng. It was called off for offside when replay shows she was inside her own half when the flick came. This goal was not ruled out for offside, even though there was a healthy hint of it, as Julia Andrade, just minutes after the goal was chalked off for Leipzig, then did break the deadlock for the home side. Again, it was Giovanna Hoffmann with the flick, as it was for the first. But this time, Andrade fashioned a lead that they were fully deserving of. Bremen came on strong at the end of the first half, but soon after the restart, Giovanna Hoffmann did that. A wonderful take on her chest, a wonderful drive towards goal, and then a wonderful finish as well to cap it all off and put Leipzig 2-0 up. And that was at a moment in the encounter where Bremen were in the ascendancy. As I said, they had finished the first half strong. They were looking to maintain momentum at the start of the second, and they had started that way. Hoffmann really took the wind out of their sails. It sucked the hope out of the Werder Bremen side. And while they did, the visitors, they did have chances, they could not find a finishing touch. This was the best one, and that first touch from Sophie Weidauer was dreamy. Elvira Herzog, though, equal to the effort. In her 50th game in all competitions as a Leipzig goalkeeper, she kept her 16th clean sheet, her first of the season, at a time where she had been under fire a little bit. She really stood up and showed up for her side tonight. And this was not her only save of the game, arguably one of the best. Pressure was all Bremen at the end, and they had so many set pieces. And unfortunately, that free kick there from Saskia Matthijs summed up all of them. Right at the death, they almost had a goal to reduce the arrears from Carolina Ziems. Of a wasteful performance struck over, and that really did tell the whole story for Werder Bremen tonight, as their unbeaten start to the season comes to an end. We've got a cracking weekend of action still ahead of us. This was just the curtain raiser, and it wasn't a bad one either. Freiburg against Jena and Essen against Leverkusen tomorrow to beat a Potsdam take on Eintracht Frankfurt, while Wolfsburg are at home to Köln. And then closing the show, a headline act between Bayern München, the only side with a perfect record so far. For now, James Surrock, your match commentator, delighted to have the pleasure of your company on this Friday night. Final score at Kottaweg, as Leipzig move on to 6 points after 3 games, stretching their winning run on home soil to 7 straight victories. It really was an impressive performance and a wonderful evening. So thanks for joining. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget to tune in for the rest of the action. Matchday 3 has only just started, but it starts with a 2-0 win for Leipzig. Das
Zum Auftakt des 4. Spieltags der Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga empfing Leipzig Werder Bremen. Die Bremerinnen richtig gut gestartet.
gut.
So, meine Damen und Herren. Zum Auftakt des 4. Spieltags der Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga empfing Leipzig Werder Bremen. Die Bremerinnen richtig gut gestartet, auch dank Larissa Mühlhaus. 4 Tore in den ersten 3 Pflichtspielen. Auch am 3. Spieltag gab es... Ne, habe ich 4. gesagt am Anfang? Warte mal ganz kurz, machen wir mal Stopp. Ich habe 4. Spieltag gesagt, glaube ich, ne? Das ist, glaube ich, der 3. Spieltag. Warte mal. Jo, Moment, ich schaue nochmal nach. Frauen, ich glaube, es ist der 3. Spieltag. Das ist der 3., ne? Und ich habe, glaube ich, der 4. gesagt. Zum Auftakt des 3. Spieltags der Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga empfing Leipzig Bremen. Werder auch dank ihr richtig gut in die Saison gestartet. Larissa Mühlhaus, 4 Tore in 3 Pflichtspielen. Der 3. Spieltag auch wieder ein Aktionsspieltag zum Thema Nachhaltigkeit. Und die Gastgeberinnen starteten furios. Leipzig in dunkelrot in der 3. Spielminute. Hoffmann auf Schimmer und die mit dem ersten richtig guten Abschluss. Marlene Schimmer vor der Saison vom 1. FC Köln verpflichtet. Aber auch Bremen versteckte sich nicht. Nur 2 Minuten später auch hier der erste Abschluss von Ricarda Weikling. Weikling in dieser Saison etwas offensiver als noch in der letzten Saison. Und das Spiel hatte keine Pausen. 6. Minute, auf einmal ist Schimmer frei durch. Schimmer gegen Peng. Siegerin, die Leipzigerin. 1:0 für RB, aber es gab Proteste vom Schiedsrichterteam um Angelika Söder. Die entschieden nämlich auf Abseits. Es lässt sich nicht komplett auflösen. Abseits. Es gibt in der Frauen-Bundesliga keinen VAR. Auch die Kameraperspektiven sind nicht immer ideal. Bremen also zunächst im Glück. Dann war es aber kurz danach passiert. Nächster langer Ball und dann ist Lydia Andrade durch und macht das 1:0 in der 8. Spielminute. Allerdings auch ein großer Fehler von Livia Peng. Kommt da viel zu ungestüm aus dem Tor raus. Kann Andrade nicht mehr ablaufen. Auch Siems ist zu langsam und so das erste Saisontor für die Schweizerin. Danach war Bremen etwas besser im Spiel, die Möglichkeiten hatte trotzdem vor allem RB durch Fudalla in der 24. Minute. Wird nicht angegriffen, zieht dann einfach mal ab. Und schießt den weit über den Kasten. Bremen brauchte lange, um reinzukommen in diese Partie. Das schon die 42. Minute und der erste richtig gute Abschluss von Sophie Weidauer von Weikling, die zurücklegt. Und dann wurde es nochmal wild, kurz vor der Pause, Freistoß. Dann kommt der Ball irgendwie zu Brandenburg, der geht an die Latte. Und dann gibt es einen Aufreger dort im Strafraum. Da kommen 2, 3 Spielerinnen zu Fall.